Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet. Welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where today you get an extra healthy side helping of, let's see, smoked sausage and sauerkraut. Ooh, now I know sauerkraut's, it's it's not for everybody. Not everybody likes it, but I like it. And if you don't like it, I'll eat yours. Sounds good to me. How's everybody doing? Feels like it's been a while. It's only been a week, but it feels like it's been a whole lot longer than that. Hey, Jim Beam, Jen, how you doing? All you need, Iceman Northland. Hey, Pat. Hey, Pat. If it was really you jumping on the end of my bed, I'm pretty sure I'd bounce plumb the heck out. I might hit the ceiling. And if y'all want to know what I'm talking about, go check my Twitter feed. Pat sent me a wake up call, but I was already awake. Uh, I had laid down to take a nap uh, prior to the stream, and I didn't want to set an alarm because my wife's in bed. She has to work tonight, so I didn't want to. I didn't want to interfere with her, wake her up or anything. So I didn't set an alarm. I was pretty sure I'd get up, but anyway, here I am. Alex isn't going to make it today. He's got something else going on. Iceman Northern, what's up today? Let's see, my rent, blood pressure, the ceiling. I mean, I can go on. No. It's just good to be back, and I'll probably spend a good part of today's stream talking about me and my return to work and the idiots that I've had to deal with. So, yeah, it's probably a good thing it's just me because I'm going to talk a lot about myself. Hey, Kyler, how you doing? Um, so yeah, I've went back to work and it seems to be working out all right, although they're killing me. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But for right now, to start with, I want to talk to you guys, find out how you guys are doing. I know some of you are still staying at home. Becca Furley, hey, how's it going? Shio, how you doing? I expect good dad jokes today, Shio. Be on your best, or I'll put you in a corner. Rich 18181, hey, again. You always get unsub from me. I wonder why. Wonder why. I don't know. But I appreciate that you notice. Take care of it. Um, Turns out I was unsubbed. You not sure for how long? Becca says, really? Huh. Well, I probably didn't notice because I'm not one of those creators. Cryptic cough. Yeah, I see you there. I see you. I see you. Then Kyle says my work has notified me that I'm not going back to the 18th. Oh, well, sorry about this. Sorry. I guess sorry. That's a bad thing. Um, I'm not one of those creators that just watches my sub count like a hawk. So if it goes up and down here, there, I don't usually notice. I mean, I long ago gave up the idea that this was going to be a viable source of income for me. So it's just a labor of love at this point, and I don't get all stressed about it. It's just not. I appreciate all the subs I have, but I'm not going to watch them like a hawk and like, hey, why did you unsub for me? So I probably didn't notice. In fact, I know I didn't, but I hate to hear that. BG, how you doing? How's our favorite Uncle Grandpa ranting into the void today? I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually not in too bad a mood. Tired, but not in too bad a mood. But I will do some ranting here in a little bit. Kyler says I blame Monkey's governor. Right? Right? Exactly. Well, my oldest daughter lives up there in Michigan with Monkey. It's the same. So yeah, I have a vested interest. Uh, Becca says, I know you've been working a lot. Just figured you hadn't been streaming until your boy Pat talked about a recent stream. Oh, so yeah, found out by proxy, huh? Yeah, well, I didn't. stream this last week because I did go back to work after did Shios' dad joke goes unnoticed. Guess I'll have to go for the quarter with the next joke. No, I noticed. I was just on a tangent. Sorry. Um, but yeah, it was my first week back after self isolating for 3 weeks. Um, so yeah, I didn't stream any at all last week because I was just dead tired. It cracks me up when real quick. First of all, thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. I have $2 to my name. Here you go. Well, I would say that I'm sorry to take your last $2, Cryptic, but I'm not. Thank you. Thank you, man. Kyler says, I work in the auto industry, and the big three all still have their headquarters up there. Yeah, up in Detroit. Because Texas opens up this Thursday. It's about dang time too. Yeah. My state probably it looks like it's going to be maybe middle of May, maybe before it starts to open up again. And hey, Deck Train. Just to give a little bit of background, I had stayed home for 3 weeks to self isolate because I got afraid of getting the virus. And thank you, Shio. That's the one that goes unnoticed, I guess. For the yeah, can't talk today. For the Streamlabs donation, I may not be a priest, but I like to call myself a McDonald's worker because I like to stick my meat between 17-year-old buns. Oh, Shio. Ryan, have we all placed? No, I haven't seen any bets on when I go to the bathroom. But your bet's 47 minutes. Got it. And she says, I have recently that joke said 12 years old. Okay, I got you. Anyway, I had spent 3 weeks, and where I work, they were still open. They were got themselves deemed essential, and so I wasn't making anything for it. But I got afraid because I'm in that high risk group. I'm 60 years old and got other health issues, and I smoke and all those things. But they said, hey, if that's your decision, you still got a job when you get back. It's all good. We're not going to hold it against you. Yada yada yada. Just come back when you can, and it's all good and cool. So my district manager had called, and she's calling because our manager, I don't know if you guys are here to hear the story, but she kind of went off the deep end and was calling everybody. And she had called me and screamed and hollered, trying to get me not to go back to work. And anyway, long story. I don't want to go back into that, but we now have a new manager, by the way. I went to the DM, said, I hope I didn't have anything to do with her getting fired. And she absolutely assured me that I did not, that I wasn't the only one she called that night. And so, yeah, we have a new manager, fellow about a couple of years younger than me, name's Johnny. I like him. He's a good guy, and I like him, and he seems to like me. He gets my humor. I was picking on him the other day, as I do with people. I don't care who you are. If you're my boss, under me, equal, dude, I'm going to pick on you. And he stood there for a minute and looked at the district manager who was there that entire week training him and said, I like this guy. So yeah, anyway, my district manager called and said that they've now gone to a new rule that it's at the door or curbside only, and that wasn't their choice. The state forced them to follow the same rules that they've forced the liquor stores into because they're all curbside only. And they're providing gloves and masks now. And so I called my doctor and asked, what do you think? And explained the situation to him. And he says, yeah, I think that she's. I think that'll be all right. You probably be safe as long as you follow that. And then so I went back to work. Yes, Dick Train. She was the anchor truck. But so I went back to work, and when I first told her, the district manager, I called her up and I said, "Look, you can put me back on the schedule starting Monday or whatever." And she said, "Okay." Says, "What? How many hours you want to start with?" And I thought, my first week back after 3 weeks off, I probably want to go in a little slow. I said, "Oh, about 20, maybe 25 hours, somewhere in there." And she schedules me 38. This is supposed to be a part-time job, folks. I was 2 hours short of 40. Uh, but anyway, so I go back to work, and it's curbside only, and I knew it was going to be some running because the way that our shop is set up, we have a very, very long, uh, uh, very long counter. Sorry, I was reading there for a minute. Ryan Rollins never. Maybe if the old man would lay off the IV drip of coffee, his bladder would last longer. I doubt it. I have that old man prostate, and that does cause you to go to bathroom a lot. But we don't want him snoring on string. No, you don't, and I do snore like a chainsaw. But the way that it's set up to get around the counter, you have to go to the opposite side of the shop, the complete opposite, almost to the back office to get around it, opposite side of the shop from where the door is. So it's all the way around and all the way back and everything, getting cigarettes and ringing it up and all that. And if other people are there with you, it's not too bad because one can ring it up and the other can run it back and forth to the door from the counter. But usually you're by yourself. So by the second day back, after doing the first day, that like to kill me. Oh, I was in such pain after. Oh my gosh, I was dying, running back and forth. But when I came in the second day, the new manager and my district manager was there. Like I said, she was there all week training him. Um, and I said, is there any reason we can't separate these counters here to make it a shorter walk, at least while we're doing this at the door only? So they both said, well, no. And I said, well, I wasn't even clocked in yet. And I'm the kind of person, I always get there about a half hour early because I hate to just run right into work and get right to it. I like to ease into, get my, sit there, drink a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, get into work mode, ease into things. But I jumped up and helped them. We moved them, counted, and they were even bolted together, and we couldn't get the bolts to unscrew. So we just pulled them apart, ripped them apart, and so now we had the gap there, and that made it easier. But it's still quite a bit of running. You're right, BG, and I had more than one person says, "Well, at least you're getting your exercise." And yeah, more than I want. Trust me. And it is curbside, so there are some older people and so forth that don't get out of their car, and I have to go out to the car. I have to wear a yellow vest. OSHA makes us wear a yellow vest if we go curbside. One of those vests that road workers will wear. I have one of those, and and if it's raining or whatever, they're sure not going to get out of the car, so I got to go out there to their car and back and forth. And it's better, but it's still an awful lot, and it's not like it's steady through the day. You'll have periods where you got nothing, and then they all come at once. I swear they meet up at Wendy's down the road and say, "Okay, let's go hit him now," and there'll be half a dozen of them at one time. It just hits you at once. So, yeah, it's been rough, and they had my days. Some days I didn't go into 11 in the morning. Some days I had to be there at 6:30 in the morning. It was just kind of back and forth and all over the place. It was a rough week. I did get home. I was working Tuesday. Could not have stream then, and I was working Saturday, could not have streamed them. But Thursday, I did get home in time, but I was so beat. I went home and said, you know what, I'm going to lay down instead. I'm not streaming. Sorry, they're going to have to understand. I'm pooped. I'm tired. Um, but I've got my gloves. Tried wearing the mask. I can't do it. It fogs my glasses up something fierce. I can't even see what I'm doing. So I just go to the door and try to hold it up. My arms are really long, so I can keep a pretty good distance between you and me. Get a drink coffee here from my throat. And I do have a brand new red red mask because that's my favorite color that my wife got me. I wore it to Walmart today. Had to go get a pair of shoes. Ended up buying 2 pairs of shoes. Didn't want to go. Did not want to go because I was afraid Walmart was going to be a mess. Walmart's an odd place anyway. If you've ever been to Walmart, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you've probably seen those videos. And it's really like that in Wally World. And but I had to get a pair of shoes. I've needed them for a while, and with all this running around and walking, you know, I didn't lose my breath, BG. But you're right, I wouldn't lose my breath so quick if I didn't smoke. I didn't lose my breath, but I had to get my. I've been needing shoes for a long while. The inside of these shoes is broke down, and I've had them for like 10 years. I don't go through shoes too often. I'm not that hard on them, and they'll last me a good long while. But the inside had broke down, and there wasn't much cushion. The insoles to them had all broke down, and my feet were really hurting. So I wanted to get some new shoes. And there aren't any shoe stores anymore around here. Any that were have closed down. I'm kind of live in a depressed area. The things are closing down, not moving in where I live. In fact, the Family Dollar closed down and moved a couple of miles down the road. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. And they were always getting robbed and whatnot. But yeah, it was go to Walmart, which is not that far of a drive, but it is into the next county, just into the next county. Um, uh, Ryan Rollins says the smoke shop up the road from me is a converted Blockbuster. They've turned the old videotape drop thing into an access as for people buying stuff. I wish we had something like that. And some of our shops, not ours, but some of our shops actually have a drive-through window. Wished we had something like that, but we don't. Hey, Cynical, how you doing? I'm doing great. Anyway, it's in the next county, but just in. I mean, when you're leaving and turn back in under 30 seconds, you're hitting the sign saying, welcome back to Indianapolis. Deck train, without getting into too much detail, I'm actually pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with the Colts draft. They could have done far worse. They could have been like the Packers, who their draft made absolutely 0 sense to me or anybody else for that matter. But anyway, I won't get off on the football talk because I know if I do that, I lose some of you guys. Anyway, well, I'm getting to that, Cynical. That's what I'm talking about, or going to get to. It's been pretty rough with the it's at the door or curbside only, so they're not allowed in, and it means a lot of running for me. But had to go to Walmart today to go get some shoes, and I didn't have any gloves. I had the mask. I didn't have any gloves, so we stopped at the local drugstores. CVS didn't have any. Walgreens didn't have any. I was like, crap. Well, I'll go by the smoke shop where I work, and I know they've got some, and see if they won't give me a pair, which they did. And off we went to Walmart, the wife and I. And I thought I'd feel like a real doof, wearing the mask and the gloves and everything. But as I put them on and walked in, everybody else, including all the employees, looked just like me with the masks and gloves on. So I didn't feel out of place. So ended up buying 2 pairs of shoes, and hopefully these last me 10 years, like the last pair. I got 1 pair to work in, which is They were very much like this that I had before. They're soft slip-ons, kind of like, but they look good. They're look good enough to dress in actually. And I got a pair of tennis shoes, which I haven't had a pair of tennis shoes in who knows how long, decades. I just don't wear tennis shoes, but of course they're the Velcro kind because I'm too lazy to tie my shoes. MC says, "Hello, everyone. Hello, hippie, aka Plummy. Hope all is well with everything. It's good, good. It's good, good." But anyway, on to work. Uh, have I ever mentioned that people are morons and I hate people? If I haven't mentioned it before, which I'm pretty sure I have, uh, I'm mentioning it now. Sickle Lindsay says, "I don't think gloves are necessary, especially if you end up touching your face. I say carry a bottle of hand sanitizer around if you don't want to go to the restroom, wash your hands. It's just easier for me with all that I do at work to wear the gloves, cynical, and we do have hand sanitizer. And I am forcing myself not to touch my face. You don't realize how much you touch your face until you're trying not to. And I catch myself right at the last second getting ready to scratch my nose or scratch my forehead or something. And like, oh, don't do that, and turn around and, scratch it with the back of my wrist or whatever, the back of my arm. Was the masked man Zorro or the Lone Ranger? That was the Lone Ranger. That was the reference to the Lone Ranger. Who was that masked man? People are morons. They get to the door, and there's signs all over the front of the door that you can't come in. And people just don't read. They don't look. I'll go to the door, and every day I have at least half a dozen people try to walk past me. Now, I'm blocking the door. That's how I open it. I'm blocking away. You're not getting in past me. And they'll take a step at me and then stop, and their eyes go all wide. Oh, I can't come in? Well, no. Well, this is BS. Well, the liquor stores are the same way. It's not us, it's the state. Well, the vape shop down the road is letting people in. Well, that's their business. If they want to risk a fine by breaking the state rules, that's on them. But we're corporately owned, and the corporate doesn't want to take that risk. It is what it is. I mean, the restaurants and fast food joints went to this format weeks ago. So why are you giving me grief? But like, you're not getting in. No, you can't come in. And had a car full of kids, and by kids, they barely looked. I would have had to ID them because they did not look 21. And they wouldn't get out of the car. I had to go out to them, and somebody in the back seat says, "I want to buy a pipe, but I need to look at them. Can I come in?" No. Well, can I come in? Just look at them and leave? No, you can't. You're not coming in. And so to keep people out, we have to keep the door locked in between customers because they'll just walk right in because nobody looks at the signs. There's signs all over the front of the door. Because I had that happen. I either forgot to lock the door, and it's happened a couple of times. While I'm in the middle of helping someone, it's not locked, and people will just walk right in. I'm like, "Excuse me, you can't be in here." "Oh, I can't." "No, you need to go out, and I'll help you as soon as I get done here." Yeah, Becca, it's like they expect me to say, "Oh, well, if they're doing well, yeah, fine, come on in." Right? No, not a chance. I don't make the rules. And trust me, I'd rather not do it this way. It's a whole lot more work on me. A whole lot more work on me. They act like, I'm doing this just to be mean. No. But I got, I don't make them, and I don't want necessarily like it per se, but I've got to follow the rules. I'm just an employee here. We're on board corporation. Yeah, BG says it's your neighborhood. You sure know how to read. Well, you do got a point. Maybe not. Maybe not. But hell and place gloves are pointless. Well, maybe, but if nothing else, they're keeping my hands clean. You should see those gloves because money is so dirty. They are just brown as heck by the time I take my gloves off from just handling that money. Use the line smoking. But excuse me. Um, anyway, uh, you get the people, at least half a dozen people try to walk in past me, and they're coming in for the dumbest stuff. You're not supposed to be going out for anything except, uh, you know, essential, right? And they're coming in and buying lottery tickets. Had a lady come in at literally 1 minute to closing. She's just sitting out in her car. And I saw me being me. I go out there, look, if you want something, this is exactly what I told her, lady, if you want to buy something, you need to do it now because I'm locking that door in 60 seconds. Oh, well, I just want 20 lottery tickets. I kid you not. 1 minute to close and she wants 20 lottery tickets. And I've already counted those tickets. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? But and we've been closing at 5 o'clock for more than a month, and people are still coming after closing, thinking they can get in. People are just stupid. They are narcissistic and pay absolutely zero attention. There's some of the people that will run you all over the place. Well, let me look at this. Well, let me look at that. No, that's not the one I want. Let me look at that. And they'll run you back and forth, have it does, and think it's funny. I'm like, and I have had to tell a couple of people, look, you need to settle on something because I'm not your slave boy here. I'm an employee in the shop. I'm hired to help you out, but I'm a human being equal to you, and you're not going to continue running me all over the freaking place. Not going to happen. And if you don't like that, there's other smoke shops in the neighborhood. You can go there. And we've had to come down on a couple of people because they've just acted stupid. And people are so narcissistic. They think they're the most important things in the world, and nobody else matters. And you know, or you get the ones. And I've got this would bother me even if it wasn't for the virus because I have personal space issues. I don't like people up too close to me. I don't, like back the heck up. I can hear you from over there. I'll open the door. I'll be holding the door open, trying to find out what they want. And they'll push the whole upper part of their body in past me to look in the store, like they're going to be able to see anything. And I'm like leaning away, hat back, turning my head away, like, get the heck out of here, man. Get away from me. Get away from me. Looks like I'm going to have to get a drink of Mountain Dew, something a little wetter than coffee. Getting on a dry throat because I've already talked a lot. There we go. There we go. Yeah, cynically, you're right. The entitled ones, they do. And they don't last long with me. They don't last. And my management knows how I am and how I won't take much, and I'll just flat out tell people. I won't be mean, but I'll just flat out tell them, look, no, we're not going to do this. We're not. And they're fine with it. They're cool with it. Uh, it just amazes me. Had some old guy look older than me come rolling up on a bicycle, and he was one of those that wanted to bust in. Oh, I can't come in. No. Well, I see how it is. I'm like, oh grief, it's going to be one of these people. And and yeah, if they do curbside only here, my order at the smoke shop would be a carton of Camel Shorts, the plain old Camel Sweets. You talking about the non-filters? We have those. But and then you'd be amazed at the people that buy their stuff all the time, but they don't know what they roll their own. They don't know what their tobacco's called. They don't know what their tubes are called. They just know what it looks like. I had one guy that was running me back and forth to the glassware. That's what we officially have to call the bongs and the pipes and stuff. We're not allowed to call it bongs and pipes. We have to call it glassware. But you're not going to be able to see them from the door. You can see where they're at, but you're not going to see nothing. Kyler says, no, the filters. Okay, well, we have those too. We have all kinds of camels. We got the Camel Wides, the Blues, the 99s, all the 4 different kinds of crushes. You name it, we got it. But So he hands me his phone to go over and take a picture of our pipe display to take back to him so he can pick what he wants. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. And we've been selling a heck of a lot of nectar collectors the last few days. I don't know what's going on, why there's a run on nectar collectors. And those of you that do this sort of thing probably know what that is. I know what it is. I just don't know exactly what it's for. I don't understand it, but I know what a nectar collector is when somebody says that's what they want. So, um, but anyway, that's that's the way it's been. It's just been dumb. It's been absolutely stupid. And if another person says, "Well, this is dumb, this is stupid," to me, I'm going to go off. I'm telling you. And had one person, there's a office uh, in the back of our shop, and there's a fella that this time of year runs a tax service out of that office in the back of our shop. It's an actual separate office, but you have to go through our shop to get there. Um, Grill and Pirate Pete says, posted a pic of what's on my grill while tweeting your stream on Twitter. I'll look at it in a little bit. Yeah. But so he's in there, doing his business, and he went to leave, and there were a couple of young guys standing outside, and they make a smart aleck comment like, "Oh, I guess it depends on who you are on whether you can go in or not." I just looked at them and said, "He works here. Now what?" And I had people. I was helping a woman, and she's one of our regulars. Her name's Anita, and she always comes in and buys a lot of online lottery. And it takes a while to do her order because she buys several pieces of lottery. She'll spend $30-$40 in one sitting on lottery every time she comes in. So I'm in there printing off all her lottery tickets that she wants. And some guy comes in, he's halfway in the middle of the shop before I can stop him. I said, "You can't be in here." He says, "Oh, you're still doing the curbside?" I said, "Yeah." Well, and then real sarcastically, he says, "Well, I was out there and I didn't think you was ever going to come out and see what I wanted." And I just looked at him. I said, "You see that lady sitting right in front of the door? I'm helping her. I'm doing her order. When I get done with her, I'll get to you. Now you need to leave." But it comes Sunday. I was so done with it, so over it all. How many tickets do I print off in an average day? Oh Lord, I have no idea. It's a bunch. It's a lot. But by Sunday, I was so done with it. It just so happened that Monkey done his monkey in the morning at about after I'd went to work and started, and since I was the only one there on Sunday, I pulled his show up on my phone and left it run, not loud enough that they could hear it at the door, but that I could hear it. And I couldn't listen to much of it, but it was just the fact of hearing a familiar voice. It probably kept me from choking some idiot out or another, to be honest with you. Uh, uh, yeah, hey son, there's a special place now for people who spend more than $5 on lottery. I know, right? But she's a good person, and she's liable to tip me if she wins, so I don't mind doing hers. When she wins, she'll slide me a tip, which that is on the upside. Some of the more understanding people, because not everybody's a jerk, and the more understanding people and the regulars, some of the regulars are like, hey, keep the change, or here's your tip, because they know I'm doing an awful lot more running than I was normally, and so I've made a little bit in tips this week, and that's okay, that's cool, but you know, there's some of them people that are just making an already tough situation even tougher, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to choke you out if you don't stop it. Had a fellow show up. He claims to be crippled. He's got a wheelchair in the back. I think he probably is. He's got hand controls on his truck, but he shows up. He's like late 30s, I'm guessing. And he always shows up with a truck full of what appeared to be 14 and 15-year-old boys, and they're all stoned. And I'm guaranteed he's not old enough for them to be his. Not sure what's going on there, but he'll just try to run you all over the place, right? So I put and he'd already just frazzled and just pushed one of my fellow workers. Hey, Steph, uh, to the point that she was in tears like the day before or 2 days before, and the DM had to go out and give him what for. He was trying it with me, and I said, "You come in for some certain flavor of vape," and I said, "I only got one. I only got one thing of that. Whatever flavors you got." And I said, "Well, there's berry and this and that, and that's what I can remember. I didn't really look." "Well, can you tell me?" "Well, I can, but you're not going to run me all over this shop." He just looked at me like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just take the one watermelon," which is what he wanted, which, whew, watermelon anyway. Who the heck? Yeah. But it's been rough. It has been rough, but I've made it through. Gunpowder says, "You made me think of stopping looking for any signs now when I support any local stores now. I guess I never thought of it." Yeah. People, it's posted right on the front door. The hours that we're running during this is 9 to 5. That's posted right on the door. People ain't seeing it. Curbside only. We even posted the phone number in case you wanted to call from your car, to have me come out. Now, generally, I'm going to see you come up unless I'm out in the shop restocking something or I'm in the bathroom using it or whatever. Which brings up another thing. I've had people calling me from the car. They can obviously see into the shop and see that I'm busy helping someone else, and they're still trying to get me on the phone. I mean, come on, people, use some sense. And watermelon, dang it ain't season. Yeah. Watermelon, anything. To eat actual watermelon, I'm okay with. Not so crazy about it. It's okay. But like watermelon candy or whatever, no, you can have mine. You can have mine. But yeah, that's the way it's been. So that has been my return to work. And there's a whole lot more than that went on. I didn't tell you every story. We'd probably be here for longer than I have on the stream to do that. But yeah, it's just I'm getting sick to death of hearing people say this is stupid. You're telling me I'm the one running my feet off while you're standing here complaining. You're telling me it's stupid. So yeah, I don't want to do this, but that's the rules. That's the way it is, and that's what I have to do. And why are you surprised? Because the liquor stores are all this way, and the fast food restaurants and the other restaurants have been curbside credit card only for weeks now. So why are you surprised when we do it? My God, you act like, oh, they're stupid. They're stupid. You guys are gonna get me going again. Or I'm gonna get me going again. They're just dumb and so self-centered and so oblivious to what's going on around them. It's just like, seriously. Had one guy come in, like it's supposed to be essential. Had one guy come in, he wanted 12 sticks of incense. Just pick what, give me a selection. So I'm over there picking out 12. Oh, yeah, that's essential, fella. Of course, this is the guy that slaps himself. Seriously, there's something wrong with him. I don't know what he does. And he's constantly slapping himself in the face. I don't mean just touching his face. He slaps his face. Weird dude. Weird dude. Dark Law says, "I just grocery for the week today. I'll always say I hope we can get back to normal soon." Yeah. And I'll be glad to get back to normal. Trust me, I don't want to run back and forth to the door. I want to stand behind my register, and all that. But it is what it is, so I got to deal with it. We all got to deal with it. And if these, Jacob says, in reality, smoke shops shouldn't even be open. Goes for liquor stores as well. Can't convince me that they're essential. No, I agree. but it is what it is. It might be Tourette's, Grilling Pirate Pete, but he's got other weird qualities as well. When he looks at he carries a flashlight with him. When he's able to come inside, he looks at the incense, and it's not dark over there. It's very well lit. He's looking at it with a flashlight in his mouth. I don't know. He's just an odd dude, very odd dude. When we get our fair share of odd people, trust me. My gas station is window service only. We still have people trying to get in the door, even with the barrier in front of. Yeah. It's just, oh my gosh, people just are oblivious. They're not paying attention to what's going on in this neighborhood. Son, you're probably right. It probably is more likely meth than Tourette's. Yep. And you're right. Absolutely. But, yeah, it's just Karens. Oh, we've had some Karens. And tell you something. There's one thing that's worse than a Karen. It's a redneck Karen. Trust me. They're the worst. And I'm like looking at them like, listen, trailer park queen, you got no room to be looking down your nose at me. Treat me like that. But yeah, it's been wild, been tough. It's been tough. No, I hadn't heard NASCAR returning as soon as next month, but that would be a grouping of Karens called a complaint. Yeah. And Kyle says, "Oh dear Lord, you ain't lying, blood." I know. I'm telling you the truth, and this is coming from a guy whose mother-in-law is named Karen. Ain't that right, J-Kid? Yeah, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. But all in all, though, it hasn't been terrible. It's just the really dumb ones are getting on my nerves. By and large, the majority of people get it. They understand and they work with you, and of course you got your regulars, what they want anyway, so you've got it ready. And the other thing that bothers me, most people that are thinking will hand you their money or their credit card to take with you as soon as you get your order, so you don't have to make another trip. But there's those people that don't want to give it to you until you tell them how much it is, and then they hand you a credit card. Like, dude, why does it matter if you're putting it on your card? And then you got the ones that they give you your debit card and it's asking for a PIN number, and I can't help it. There's no way around it with these machines on the type of machine we have. There's no way. Huntington Bank's one of them that's bad about it. They always ask for a PIN number, so you got to go say, look, if you want to use that card, you got to give me your PIN. And they act like, oh my God, you're trying to steal my identity, dude. Trust me. I guarantee you, I will forget this number before you even leave. In fact, I'll be lucky to remember it by the time I get back to the credit card machine. Because I'm not writing it down here. I'm trying to remember it. I won't remember it. I mean, I get it. You're particular about your identity and all that. I get that. Okay. But I'm not going to steal your number. I'm not going to remember it. It's either that or use another card or play by cash. You got a choice. But people are just stupid. I could have named this the "People Are Stupid" string, I guess. But yeah. So, but I have been wearing my gloves, and I tried to wear the mask, and it just isn't working. The mask instantly fogs my glasses up, and I can't even see where I'm going because my breath goes right up over top of my glasses. No one says, you might not remember, but the closed security system you have installed will. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I know it will, but it's I've seen the video feed from that thing. You're not going to clean it up enough to be able to, and there's no sound on our closed circuit. Yeah. I mean, you're trying to steal my ID. Use cash next time. Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to give me your PIN number, then don't use this card. You know, and I know a way around it. I know how to get around it. It's kind of a oddball workaround, and I'm not allowed. I've been told by my DM that I'm not allowed to use it because I was telling her about it, and it works. She says, "Well, I don't want you doing that." I said, "Okay. Well, if you say I can't do that, then I won't do that." Um, Kyler says, I always hit the ATM before I get my carton. My smoke shop has to charge a little extra for credit cards. Service they use charges them. Yeah, we don't charge extra for credit cards. We have an ATM right there in the shop, and it's the cheapest one on this side of town. But people can't come in, so they can't come in and use it. But, you know, uh, is what it is. And, I'm not surprised that people are stupid, but it's just like this whole COVID thing, this coronavirus thing is just bringing out all the really narcissistic, clueless, oblivious people that they just don't seem to be aware of what's going on around them. My gosh, trying to get up my face and pushed her way into the door by me and all. It just, oh my gosh. Side note, grill and pirate side note, why do us men always have to give tongs a couple of test clicks before we use them on the grill? It's I don't know, it's just a guy thing. Got to play the maracas. But yeah, so that's how my week's gone, running my little feet off. Hopefully this new pair of shoes that I got today, and I may end up alternating between both pair of shoes because I can wear tennis shoes to work. They don't care. Hopefully it'll help with my feet because I've been going home and my feet are so sore. I mean, I can't even stand to touch them, you know. And it's because the insoles have been broke down on the inside of my shoes. And I've put those shoes away. They're still usable. I'm not going to throw them away. They're not that broken. I can use them if I'm like going to work on the truck or something like that. That's very dirty. That I'm not, because I won't care about getting them dirty. But yeah, I got 2 new pairs of shoes this morning, and so hopefully that will help with my feet, and maybe that will help me not to walk funny. Yes, Jake did. I got tennis shoes, but of course they're Velcro. They are the Velcro kind. Or are you making fun of me calling them tennis shoes instead of sneakers or whatever? Um, and I was having this conversation on Twitter earlier today. I had to go get them because I have my feet. I don't know. It just depends on the maker of the shoe on what size I have to wear. And just a case in point, I got 2 different pairs, and they're 2 different sizes. The slip-ons, yeah, I don't remember the last time I had tennis shoes either. It's been over 10 years at least, but I saw them and they were on sale, and I'm like, okay, why not? And your mom was buying, so hey. Yes, we sell American Spirit. Matter of fact, we sell like 6 or 7 kinds of American Spirit. So, yeah. Anyway, the one pair I had to go to size 12, and I actually tried on 13s, and I could wear the 13s, but I thought, they'll loosen up a little bit as time goes on. The 13s might come, flop on my feet. I'll get the 12s. And then the other pair, the tennis shoes, I had to get 11 wides to fit. So my feet are weird. It just depends on the manufacturer and the type of shoe that so I have to be there to try them on. Because somebody's saying, why don't you just buy them online? Well, I have to try them on. And I've always been that way. I might wear an 11 in this, but I wear a 12 in that, and might wear a 10 and a half in this other. It just depends. Cannibalistic Wizard says, I've had the same pair of flip-flops for like 10 years now, and they still going strong. Yeah, well, that last pair of shoes, I'm not that hard on shoes. I don't go through shoes that often, and this last pair of shoes is probably somewhere between 8 and 10 years old. I'm guessing. I know they're way more than 5 years old because I still had them when I was work. I had them when I was still working at the uh, limo company. But yeah, I'll disown him if he gets Crocs. You know what it's like. You all took bets. I'm not sure where I'm at on that or how close I am to what your bets are. But have I ever had Levi sneakers? No, never have. I don't buy brand name. I buy the cheap, no name because I don't need the brand name on it, and I'm not that hard on sneakers to worry about how long they're going to last. So anyway, I've got to go to the bathroom, folks, is what I'm getting at. And I've got no one to fill in the gaps for me. So you're going to have to listen to silence for just a couple of minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Feel free. And the back. Are you all still out there? Did you leave on me? Are you? I'm glad to see you didn't leave. Sorry about that. I was trying to hold it off as much as I possibly could. But yeah, I got to the point where there was no way. Um, let's see, what did I miss while I was at? Yep, P break. Yeah, I need a banner that goes up and says P break. Oh, you know what? I think I made one and I forgot to put it up there. J Kid knows about Walmart. He worked there for quite a while, Byron. Just to make you jealous, today's barbecue sauce is masterpiece original with minced garlic, crushed red pepper flakes for heat, and of course some Captain Morgan. Hey, are you delivering? You gonna bring by? You gonna share? Did you bring enough for the share for the class? Because if not, I don't want to hear about it. All right, okay. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. Uh, Crocs are an abomination, and I instantly judge and discriminate against anyone who wears them. No, you have no worry about that, J Kid. I'm never going to wear Crocs. You know that. And you thought I was crazy for betting 47 minutes. I didn't say that. It could be anything. There's been streams that I've made the entire 2 hours without having to go. It just, my bladder just whenever it wants to. Man, on the way back from Walmart, I had to go so bad. I'm just like, and I said, we need to go over to Kroger and do some grocery shopping. And not right now, we ain't. I gotta go pee. and I'd hit a bump or an extra brick. I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't hit an extra brick. Oh, I gotta go. You're gonna shake it out of me. But straight system is, I knew a kid that fell in the outhouse. Yeah, my dad used to tell a story of somebody. He was one of his cousins or something. They when they were young, they used to go tip people's houses over. Thought that was funny, and one of his buddies did that and stepped off into the hole, and then the outhouse itself rocked back into place. So he's under the outhouse. Jake says if he doesn't turn that defense around and actually do something, and I wouldn't be upset. And I hope for Patricia, but he's been a huge disappointment. Oh, talking about the Lions. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see anything about the Lions draft. I've seen the Colts draft. I was happy with it. I was fine with it. We got some good picks out of that, and some of them in areas we really need. Certainly was way happier with it than what Packers fans are with their picks, and I understand why they're upset. The Packers draft made absolutely zero sense to me or anybody else, But again, I'm not going to go all off on that because I start talking football, and some of you'll start tuning out. So we'll leave that for another time. Worst thing you can do in an outhouse? I don't know. I don't spend that much time in the outhouse if I can help it. I go in, do my business, and get out because I don't like the smell. Vikings won the draft, in my opinion. Yeah, and most people have that opinion. Most people have that opinion, but I do think that the Colts done well with what they had. It wasn't a bad draft, was not. And the running back they got, by all accounts and by the stats, is an absolute beast. So we'll see what happens. I'll talk to football with your chat, so you don't have to. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Outhouses are still around. Yes, I'm showing my city slicker, but there are places. Yeah. I had an uncle that still used an outhouse up until some years ago. So yeah, I'm sure. Sure, where I live, shoot, there were people that still had outhouses, and this is the outskirts of a city, Indianapolis, but there were still outhouses up until the late 70s to early 80s. So yeah. Gillen Pirate Pete says, speaking of Packers, did you see the draft pick that was so excited he accidentally declined the call from the Packers? Luckily, they called him back. No, I didn't see that, but that's funny. And now on lunch, so I can be more active in chat. Hey, well, good. Take a break. At least the Chiefs didn't embarrass themselves with the draft. I'm not sure about the Chiefs draft, but glad you're happy with it. Yeah, I've heard that the Raiders did pretty well too. Not real familiar on exactly who they picked and what they picked, but I did hear that. And we picked up an undrafted place kicker, that Pat McAfee, if you all know who he is, and I follow him on Twitter and YouTube. I watch his podcast. Was just beside himself that he didn't go top of the draft. He couldn't believe the guy went undrafted. He was because he says he's a beast. But Colts picked him up, because if Vinatieri plays this year, he ain't gonna play much beyond that. I'm telling you, and I'm not even sure he's gonna play this year. So we got to look to the future as far as kickers go. Anyway, anybody see chat more today? No, I haven't seen anything about her. Something going on there? Yeah, I've seen that they leaked footage of supposed UFOs. That footage actually is fairly old. Seen it before. Yeah, I don't know why they decided now to release it and people, make a big deal out of it. I don't know. Whatever. It looked to me, the footage I was seeing looked to me like it was just a drone flying really, really high. Is what it looked like. Like your regular, maybe a little larger than your regular run-of-the-mill drone. It's the way it looked to my eyes, but I'm old and can't see. What do I know? Um, not sold on rugs, huh, J Kid? But yeah, they do tend to go with speed. Colts drafted a couple of big bodies on wide receiver. One of them I've heard some very good stuff about. I don't know about him personally, but I've heard good things. Um, and an absolute beast. I've seen some the safety they picked up. I've seen some footage, and he reminds me of old Rocket Bob. You know, just everywhere at once. Maybe not throwing his body around as much as Bob, but and Jake knows who I'm talking about. But yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be talking about football. I'm sorry. You guys done it. It's your fault. You guys did it. You guys did it. I can't help it. I'm a huge football fan, especially a huge Colts fan, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the football season. I'm feeling the itch already. I'm excited. I'm going to get to it. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's play some games. Get this coronavirus over, and let's play some games. I mean, I'm ready. Can't help it. So I'm itching to play game and talk football, and I've been trying to console myself with it by just talking with Badger. But all you're going to do there is talk about the Packers. But the German. Ryan Rodriguez is talking about sports. Very mistake. I know. Gillen Pirate Pete says the cynic in me asks if the government is willing to talk about UFOs. What big event are they trying to distract us from? Yeah. I mean, I guess you would have somewhat of a point, but okay. But whatever. It just I'm like, why now? I mean, this footage actually is old. I've seen it before. This is not new footage that I've seen it, and if I've seen it, I know other people have. So I don't understand the big deal being made out of it all of a sudden. Banzo says NASCAR is better than football. No, I mean, I like them both equally. You don't have to be exclusive one or the other, but it's not just football. The people in the chat, there's some people in the chat just don't like sports, and I get that and I respect that. They're not sports people. My new manager, as much as I like him, and I really do like him, I like him a lot. Very nice guy, very good guy. I don't think he's a sports guy, so I'm gonna have to not talk sports with him. But yeah, I haven't asked him, but I haven't got the sense that he's a sports guy. The only games I'm into are video and board games. Oh well, we love video and board games, Cynical. You can ask J Kid there. There's many times we've got the family together to play board games. And I don't mean Monopoly or Trouble. I'm talking about the board games that you have to do some role play with, or that kind of thing. Well, yeah, we love us some games, and we certainly love the video games. Yeah, Jake, it just shows how much you show up at my streams anymore. I do very little political talk at all, and usually it's my guests, if anybody that do that. I don't much bring it up unless it's something extremely stupid that I can laugh at, and then I'm going to laugh at stupid no matter whether it comes political or whatever. But yeah, we used to we'd play, and I can't remember the name of the game. But J Kid had a board game, and it was something on the hill or something, the hill, mansion on the hill or something. And one player was the traitor, but the only person that knew it was that player, and they were the traitor. And oh, that's a fun game. I'd love to play in that game. And you had to keep it hidden that you were the traitor and not try to give it away. And people would be sitting around. I think Dad's the traitor. I think he's a traitor. Or it was usually me or J Kid. House on the Hill. Yeah, they thought because we've got both of us have this deadpan face, and they think that we're guilty every time, whether it was us or not. They thought it was one or the other of us, either Dad or J Kid. So either him or it would be funny. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We played a lot of different games in that genre. There was one with mice. Again, I forget, the Betrayal at the House on the Hill or something. Yeah, it was fun. There was one that was played with nothing. You play a mouse, and it was really very fun. We enjoyed that. There was another one with zombies that was very fun. Uh, and yeah, those are the kinds of board game. Mice and Mystics, loved that game. Had a lot of fun playing that game. And yeah, those are the kind of board games we play. We're not talking, uh, you know, Monopoly or Trouble, or not that there's anything wrong with those games. I like those games too, but those were the type of games we played. Now, speaking of video games, I've been playing a lot of video games lately, especially during the um, 3 weeks that I was off. And this is a good time because, man, Steam's been having some great sales lately. If you keep your eyes out, they have a daily special that, if you have to physically go look at it. They don't always advertise it, but as you physically go look at it, um, I got uh, I think I mentioned it on the stream before that I recently got Total War, uh, uh, Warhammer, the first one, Total War Warhammer. I'm still trying to figure that game out, all the ins and outs. Really, it's got a kind of a high learning curve, that game. Um, but and caught it on sale for about half. But yesterday, or no, it was day before yesterday, I caught Alien Isolation for $2 on the daily sale. And then I got an email that Total War Shogun 2 was free for a limited time. So I went and downloaded that. I mean, why the heck not? It's free. I'll give it a shot. So yeah, if you right now on Steam, if you keep your eyes open and you look, you'll find all kinds of really good deals. Not everything's on sale, but if you look, next game I want is Gears of War Tactics. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I got I finally ended up getting, because I caught it for half price. I got Borderlands 3 and haven't played it that much yet. And it's not that I don't like it. It just, I've got so many other games I've been wanting to try, and I've been playing. Finally finished a full game of XCOM 2. Finally finished that out. And in fact, I'm yeah, Warhammer. I got it for half price and been trying to learn to play it. I figured out the battle part's not the part that gets me. I can figure that out fine. It's the other part that I, what to build and when, and where I'm trying to figure it out. So I've been looking at some guides trying to help me figure it out, because it's got a little bit of a learning curve. It does. Cynical says, my husband found the first Borderlands on sale through streaming. He had to snatch up that opportunity. I also downloaded it through PS Store since it was on sale cheap too. Yeah, I actually got the first one, the second one, and the pre-sequel in a bundle on sale for less than half price a few weeks ago, and then got the third one for half price because they were it was getting ready to be released on Steam, so they were initially, it was like a pre-order for half price. And it was yeah, I had to jump on that too. Gun Pirate says, have you noticed the whole families are outside now, bike riding? Only good thing about lockdown is dad's able to connect with the kids. Yeah, yeah. Double Agents, is that a game? Or are we talking something in particular, Dick Train? Yeah, I got Borderlands 3, which I was really excited to play, and I played it some, and I do like it. Although I hate that, old Scooter's been killed off. That still bugs me. They didn't have to acknowledge that because it wasn't even part of canon. It was some other game manufacturer that done that. But anyway, I've been involved with so many other games that it's hard to me to get to them all. And I almost pulled the trigger on the head Tropico 4 and 5 on sale here a while back. It's not now, but almost pulled the trigger on that because I love 4, love Tropical 4. But if you keep your eyes open on Steam, and you got to physically go look at their front page to catch their daily sales, and it'll have a countdown under it, how many hours left on that sale. You can catch some. Like I said, I got Alien Isolation for $2, and you can't beat that. You know, a AAA game for $2. And yeah, I know it's been out for a couple of years now, but still $2, man. You know, um, uh, Cynical says, I know one thing, I definitely won't be buying The Last of Us 2 after seeing the leaks. Thanks, Naughty Dog. You saved me $60. Yeah. But it didn't have near the Cannibalistic. It didn't have near the replay value of the first 2. My favorite is and always will be the first one. And that because that's the one that I connected with. And that's the one that introduced me to Mordecai and his bird Bloodwing, which is not where I got my name. I had this name long before that series started. But yeah, I did replay it recently. I was missing you, J Kid. If you're still out there, I would the whole time I was playing both 1 and 2. I was saying, man, I wish J Kid was here. It'd be so much funner to play with him. Because chat, we used to spend a lot of time playing that game together. And but I had never paid attention to this, I don't think, before. In the first Borderlands, Mordecai's bird, Bloodwing, is very clearly a boy because he says, go get him, boy. And in the second, it's very clearly a girl because he calls it a girl. So I don't know what's going on there. Duck Jane says Total War 3 Kingdoms. Yeah, I know, but that one's not on sale and they want a good penny. Or for a poor guy like me, it's a pretty penny. Games like that, big name AAA titles, I have to wait till they go on sale. And by that point, they've usually been out for a while and everybody else has played them. So I'm playing it by myself, you know. But that's just the way it is. That's part and parcel of not having much money. Diet idea, eat off other people's plates. Those calories are theirs. They don't count. I don't know if it works that way. Grill and Pirate Pete, don't know if it works that way, but I like your way of thinking. Boy, my throat is getting dry. Don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to keep this up, guys. But even if it ends early, and I'm not saying it will, but if it does, even if it does, it's at least something. And by the way, if I forget to say so later before we go, there will not be a stream on Thursday because I do have to work. There will be a stream Saturday because I don't have to work. And I don't think I have to work Sunday, but I haven't seen that schedule yet. And they're doing this new thing where our schedule appears online now, which I hate. I'm old school. Just give me a hard copy on paper. Just give me that. Okay, something I can stick in my back pocket and look at home. I don't need to have to look it up on the website, you know. But, you know, I guess that is what it is. She says Rachel Riley, the letters and numbers girl on a game show, is working with Twitter to shut down the accounts of anyone it disagrees with because she's a consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant. Oh, okay. You'll give me a hard time. I see what you did there, Shio. My gosh. Yeah. Has Alex released his test results? Not sure if he has released them yet. I haven't seen it if he did. And I was messing with him on Twitter, him and Dax early, but something must have happened and he didn't talk to me about it because he canceled his Twitch stream. And then the next thing I see is a tweet saying he's going dark. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because of the results or he was having trouble with people calling him out on his comments, and Alex love him to death, but he does take that much more seriously than he ought to. Me, I don't care. You know, you won't call me out in my comment. What do I care? You don't like me? I don't care. Hate my guts? I don't care. They just don't care. You know, it's like we had somebody on Twitter today trying to stir stuff up about saying, well, I've never been picked on because I'm cisgendered. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And I actually agree with them. I don't understand all yeah, I know there's people out there that look at us, oh, well, you're, die cis, you know, uh, you know, scum or whatever. That's their problem, not mine. It don't bother me. You don't like me? You hate me? I don't care. Don't affect me. Don't care. Who's your favorite IndyCar driver? I don't have one. I don't follow IndyCar at all, and haven't for a very long time. I used to, but I quit following IndyCar probably in the '90s, probably as a rule. Uh, Go ahead and trash me all you want, J Kid says. Guarantee I insult myself far better than you can. Yeah, exactly. And he gets, I'm the same way. He's like me in that, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what happens. Maybe he did. Maybe he got bad news on his results. I don't know. But I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. Open wheel is trash. Yeah, I much prefer stock car racing to open wheel or that type, because I don't know, open wheel, you can't even, if you get just a little bump in one of them, somebody's going airborne, or both y'all or everybody. It's just Shield says, I've just invented a new toilet with a built-in Xbox and PlayStation. I'm going to market it as Throne of Games. Hey, there you go. I know that you're telling a joke, but I would buy that. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Sure. Kill two birds with one stone. I bet you Jake could be down for that too. I'd love a rig where I could play video games while I'm sitting on the toilet. It'd be fine with me. So okay, what else we got? Let's see here. Talked about the video game. Man, just realized the local speedway dirt track was supposed to start a couple of weeks ago. Even though I live about 2 miles away, you could hear the motors every Friday night. Oh, I know. We used to live there. I live in Indianapolis, so there's tracks everywhere. This is a racing town. I mean, you'd think there's many racetracks as there are around that were south of the Mason-Dixon. Indiana's an oddball. They really belong south of the Mason-Dixon. They really do. But it's a huge racing town. There are tracks everywhere. And I've lived near a few over the years. And, I know. I get you. And I do love that kind of racing. I love the local racing. I haven't been in many, many years. But it's fun to go to the local short tracks and dirt tracks and so forth and watch them go at it. It's fun. It is. Sheila, how many hours per week of research goes into your stream chat material? Yeah. Yeah, Cycling says video games on the toilet is a terrible idea. I'd never see my husband again. I know, right? But I'm a guy. I'm looking at it from a guy's perspective, and that's exactly what I mean. Yeah. Kill two birds with one stone, I would love it. Ryan Rollins says Mr. Bubbles wants to have a word with you about his younger female sibling. Yeah, I know. And I will be getting back to that. Probably this Sunday, I'll get back to playing Bioshock, the remastered, and get to that. I'm thinking of adding things to it and making a series called Old Redneck Plays. I don't know what you guys think about that. But like I said, recently I've picked up a lot of games because there's been some just dirt cheap and even some free, and I've been picking them up and thinking of that. I've even thought about trying to play XCOM online and letting you guys make up the rules on whether or not I can save scum or what the uniform it looked like and what have you. and see how that goes. But yeah, I am going to get back to playing the BioShock because I want to, you know. I'm and the numbers. I'm not pulling in a lot. He says a lot of people watching it live, but the numbers are pretty solid on how many seem to be going back and watching those. So I'm amazed. Um, so yeah, it's and then he says, "Oh yeah, I saw a BioShock bundle on sale through the PS Store. I thought about getting it, but I don't know. I've got too many games I have yet to crack open." I know that's the position I'm in right now. I got so many new games lately because so many have been on sale. I mean, dirt cheap. You can't beat $2. You can't beat free. That I can't get to them all. I can't decide what to play every day. Yesterday, I ended up going back to RimWorld, which I've had for a while. But for such a simple looking game, that game is so hard. It is so hard to figure out and to figure out how to play well. And that's another one that I've been looking at some guides to maybe pick up some pointers on how I can get a little further in that game without rage quitting. Greenland Pirate Pieces, our Speedway has fireworks about every other week. The finisher, some redneck fireworks, some gasoline fireballs, enough that they warned vets in case of PTSD. Sounds like my kind of track. Sounds like my kind of track, you know. But yeah, here in Indiana, there's you can't throw a rock in any direction hardly without hitting a racetrack somewhere. Uh, you want to get into racing, this is the place to do it because there's tons of racetracks and all different types of racing. We've got dirt tracks, got open wheeled racing, got you know modifieds. There's even paved tracks. One a very nice one up in Anderson, and yeah, uh, Indy is a Indiana is a racing state, and Indianapolis in particular. Plenty of tracks, lots of racing. The people here love the racing, that's for sure. Um, could Daryl Walter about talking? I don't know. Maybe depends. If you ask my district manager, she would say no because she asked me the other day if my throat ever gets sore, and I said maybe. Jay says I kind of miss it. Used to build cars and was at the track every weekend. Yeah, yeah, I know. And it's a lot of fun. But it's a very popular pastime here in our state, isn't it, kid? Um, I've always said that Indiana, the Mason Dixon should come instead of going through the middle of Kentucky below us. It should jump up north over top of us and then back down because we belong to the South more than the North in the things that we like and the way we are and the way we talk. It's just amazing. You will not find a more redneck state this far north. I'm telling you. Grilling Pirate. No, it's not cheap, man. J Kid knows that. It's not cheap at all. Grilling Pirate Pieces, my favorite is the end of season races like trailer races, bus races. Half of them roll over in demolition figure eight race. I love a figure eight race. I love a figure eight race. They're great. It's a whole different animal. It takes a whole different set of skills to be able to do a figure eight and do well at it. And Bansma, we'll race anything with wheels on it. Are you kidding me? I've seen lawnmower races. Of course, there's tractor races. We'll we rednecks will race anything that's got wheels on it, and we might race it if it don't, because we'll put wheels on it and race it. I mean, NASCAR was invented by rednecks. It is what it was. But a bunch of rednecks, booze runners. That's how it got its start. Jay says the end of the year here at the track we frequented is a 3-hour figure eight. May as well be a demo. Yeah, may as well be a demo because there's going to be some wrecks. Yeah, only the school buses that weren't nice enough to convert to a redneck RV. Yep. Kyler says a gal at my work used to do figure eights until she got too old for it. The old girl is slightly nuts. Yeah, yeah. Sounds like my kind of girl, though. My kind of old lady. I like that. Uh, would you jump Indy in a demo car? Would I jump Indy? I don't know. I've jumped a car before, if that's what you're asking. I've been airborne. Yeah. There's a set of railroad tracks here that's pretty easy to get airborne on if you don't even have to try hard. J Kid Reggie Miller story. Well, I've heard that story. And I used to work at the same place he worked at that time. So I'm surprised that you're familiar with it. He must have told it. Must have told it on some other live stream or another. You are not going to jump the Indy Speedway in any kind of car, even what's his name? Give him a rock car. He ain't jumping the Indy Speedway. It's way too wide, way too wide. Jake says, "Wait, I don't think I've ever told that story online." Well, somehow he knows about it. Ain't me, because I'm not. I know the story, but I don't know it well enough to tell it. So I don't know what to tell you. You must have told it and not remembered. The kind of girl who would not take the cigarette out of her mouth or put down her PBR before she tells you to. Yep, my kind of. Yep, yeah. Soapbox racing. Yeah, done that. I used to do Pinewood Derby too. Where you carve out your little car out of a hunk of pine wood in the Cub Scouts and race those. Down. So we'll race anything here in India. I'm telling you, we rednecks will race anything with wheels on it, and if it ain't got wheels on it, we'll probably put wheels on it and race it. Here in Indiana, we used to have a raft race that was sponsored by one of the local radio shows for years. And it was all about how crazy of a raft could you make that will float down the White River. You got some crazy stuff. People, will come up with some really crazy looking rafts, and then you got the ones that just, hook a bunch of inner tubes together and use that or whatever. But there was a lot of really inventive rafts. The raft race, man, that went on for years. I was kind of sorry they done away with that, because that was like Walmart on the river. If you can imagine it. Why has it got to be a white river? Trust me, Shio, the White River is anything but white. I wouldn't eat anything that come out of that river. No, sir. Ain't doing it. Nope. But it flows right through the center of Indianapolis. Well, it becomes a canal when it hits downtown Indy, and then it turns back into the river after it. They just turn it into a canal so that they can, so that it won't spill out of its banks mostly. Because it is known to flood from time to time. But man, you should have seen it. Even if y'all aren't rednecks or you don't live in a redneck area, you've seen the videos of the rednecks in Walmart. Well, the raft race was like that, but on the river. It was just a bunch of crazy rednecks building crazy looking rafts, half of which sunk, and everybody's drunk or high or both. It was a great time, even if you weren't the ones out on the raft. Just being on the shore watching these yahoos was just hilarious. But I'm kind of sorry they done away with that. That was quite a show. A lot of smoke here. But yeah, the White River, trust me, is anything but white. That river gives a new meaning to the word brown. And a lot of people fish in it, and I guess they eat what they catch out of it. They said pretty big carp. I guess sewage makes catfish grow really big too, because there's some really big catfish in that river. But I ain't in it. No, sir. And you couldn't get me to eat something out of it that I knew come out of the White River. Nope, nope, nope. I mean, the city's sewage plant sits right on its banks. What's that tell you? Um, I can see it. Some old boy on several empty kegs of Speedo. Oh, guarantee you, because I have seen that raft made out of empty kegs. Yep, it's happened. Trust me. It was all kinds of crazy inventive stuff and all kinds of just mix and match trash hooked together to float, and it was just, oh man, crazy stuff. It was fun, a lot of fun. That makes sense that you told it on this stream last year. I told it. I didn't think I knew the thing well enough to tell it well, but maybe I did. I don't know. I forget, Deck Train. You got a better memory than I do. I don't even remember what I did yesterday. Are you kidding me? Jacob was sitting there trying to figure out how you knew it and if you knew him. Yeah. I probably didn't tell it well and probably told it in short form, but just enough to get the sense across. But if I told it, but evidently I did, because he knows about it. Okay, we've got a half hour to go. Don't know if I'm gonna make another half hour talking. My throat's starting to get scratchy, and I'm running out of stuff to yakety yak about. So give me something to talk about, chat. And we've talked about racing, we've talked about raft race and stupid rednecks and all kinds of different things, and video games and board games, and what haven't we talked about? You need a coffee, but yeah, I've got a coffee over here, but that doesn't quench your thirst, and yeah, I need to close. Of course, there's only a half hour left to the stream. It's a little late to be pulling somebody in to co-host. I thought up until the last minute it was going to be Alex, and then it wasn't. How are you at speaking Orcish? Not at all. Not at all. I can't speak Klingon either, or Tolkien Elvish, even though I love Tolkien. I can't speak Elvish. Not that big a geek. There's always music. Yeah. Always music. I'm still working on trying to get those two. I guess the only way because they don't seem to have a Twitter that I can find. The two that I was talking about a few streams back, if you guys remember, that run a music reaction channel, I'd like to interview them, young kids. I would have to get an Instagram account just to talk to them and to get in touch to them, because I can't get a reply from them in their chat. And then I get that, if they're seen replying to me, then every little bitty small YouTube channel out there is going to be trying to get their attention and get them on and everything. So yeah, I don't know. They did a reaction just yesterday on Ricky Don't Lose That Number by Steely Dan. One of maybe my favorite Steely Dan songs. It's one I walk around and sing all the time, just out of the blue, and always have. Shios's favorite double album, that would be All the World's a Stage. Rush. Awesome double album, live album. And there's an awful lot of good albums. You get what you play for. That's a good one. Just an awful lot. But that would probably, I'd have to say that, and you see how quick I was to say that. I would have to say that's by far my favorite. Love that album. And got one of the best Neil Peart drum solos doing the live rendition of Working Man, one of the best ever. Uh, and you'll get no argument from me, Cynical. Yeah, they sound just as good. They were one of those bands that sound just as good, if not better, live than they did in the studio. Don't know how they pulled that off, but they did. It just speaks to their musicianship, and they were all maestros, all three of them. Uh, for that matter, favorite EP. Oh, that's a harder one to answer, Shield, because there's so many that I like. Um, you know, oh, that's a much harder one to answer. Because I've got a lot of different bands and albums and groups that I really really like, and it's hard for me to pick out of them which one is my favorite. You know, um, it's hard. Afternoon, six. How you doing? Um, been a long time since we've had a Bloodwing story time. I know, but I wasn't prepared. I'd have to come up with something. And you would think with all the hold my beer moments I've had in my life, I'd just be able to rack one off and spur the moment. And my stories tend to go better with somebody to bounce off of and make laugh in the panel. So I don't know, but if I come up with something pops in my mind, I'll tell a story. Uh, for my money, Alice's SEP EP. Yeah, you talking about Alice Cooper? Um, I do love me some Alice Cooper. Killer and Welcome to My Nightmare are a couple of my favorites. Were I at Woodstock? No, I was too young. I would have only been 8 years old during Woodstock. So, yeah. Ain't no way my parents were letting me go to New York on my own to go to Woodstock at 8 years old. Ain't no way. So no, I knew all about it. You couldn't help but to at the time. In fact, you may not know this. I was, of course, I was a comic book reader at 8 years old, and they were advertising it in the back of the comic books. On the back cover of the comic books, there'd be advertisements for Woodstock. How crazy is that? How did Alice Cooper get his stage name? It was supposedly a 17th century witch, I think, that was burned at the stake. And it was supposed to be just the name for the band, but eventually he took it as his own. It's not his real name. His real name is Vincent Furnier. But I'm pretty sure that's the story behind it, Bansma. If we're talking favorite Alice in Chains album, that Choose Jar of Flies, that album is criminally underrated. Yeah, it's a good album. Devil Fruit Zeros, do you ever want those extra? I did. I wanted them because I actually bought a pair. I bought something else out of the back of the comic books one time too, and I can't remember what it was now. But it wasn't worth the money. They never were. It was just a way to scam gullible kids out of their hard-earned allowance money. Is all it was. No, I never owned a pet rock. Take it. Hey, Zombie Teddy, how you doing? And yeah, no, the X-ray specs didn't work. And they were just cardboard glasses with a little hole cut in the middle of it, and so you had to squint through it, and it made it look funny. And I guess it looked like an X-ray. I don't know, but Shield says, why don't they ever include the gum with bubblegum cards anymore? I don't know. That's the whole reason I would buy them, just for the bubblegum. The cards were secondary when I was a kid. Cynical says, my dad is and always will be an Alice Cooper fanatic and an impressive collection of Alice Cooper material and cassette tapes back when they were a thing. Yeah, I wasn't that big a fan, but I'm a big fan, and I do love Alice Cooper. My all-time favorite album is probably Welcome to My Nightmare. But that doesn't mean that's the only album that I like. Certainly like Killer. My favorite song off Killer is named appropriately Dead Babies. Yeah. He wrote a song called and sang a song called "Dead Babies." Awesome song, actually. But I love every song on the Welcome to My Nightmare album, and it's thematic. And if you listen to it, it's an album you have to listen to from beginning to end because it tells a story. And yes, Jake and Steven will rank as one of my favorite songs. Yeah, Steven's awesome song, and it just does so well of giving you that feeling of an insane, twisted individual, that went through things that made him that way, but he's pretty sick and twisted now. And that song just is great at that. Yeah, Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, absolutely, and he's the godfather of a lot of genres. There wouldn't be groups probably like Rob Zombie and whatnot if not for Alice Cooper. You know, he's the godfather of it, and he's still knocking it down today. Dude's got to be in his 70s. You know, and still going. Of course, once he got out of alcoholism, got himself cleaned up, he's lived a pretty clean life. So, it probably helps him to still keep going at this point. But Cynical says, my dad nerds out over the fact that he has a copy of Muscle of Love, which in his words is a very hard album to find. It is. Yeah, it is hard. I think Muscle of Love, he might have still been going by Alice Cooper and the Spiders, maybe. Not sure about that, though. Not sure about that, but it might have been. Yeah, Alice Cooper's an avid golfer, and he's been an avid golfer for years. For years, you guys may not remember this, but he made a cameo on the Lucy Show way back in, not I Love Lucy, but one of the later Lucy shows she had. He was a neighbor of hers. He actually really was a neighbor of hers, and showed up on that. And yeah, he's a big golfer. Has been for many, many years. Cat Butt, Journey to the Center of, and I'm not even sure what it sounds like, but I love the title. Never heard of that one. I remember Journey to the Center of Your Mind, which was a very, very old song by the Amboy Dukes, which at the time, just some old random fella called Ted Nugent used to play in. But never heard of Cat Butt, Journey to the Center of. That's a new one on me. Seattle band. Oh, okay. So grunge probably. That Seattle scene. Let's see what else we got. I mean, it would be hard for me to name what my all-time favorite album is. I don't know. There's just so many, and so many that meant not only meant a lot in my life, but meant a lot to rock and roll. So many pivotal. Now, it's easier for me to say, if you ask me what's my favorite album of this band or of that group or this artist, that's easier question for me to answer. But shut up, J Kid. Shut up. I know. I'm stuttering. It's there. When you got the raw me, and there I go stuttering again. If you get the raw me without a script going, you're gonna get some stuttering, and you know it. And I've just learned to accept it. It is what it is. Best album by decade. That's just the same question, just divided up by 10 years. It's be very, very hard to answer. And my best known decades are going to be the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, I listened to rock and roll past that, but I'm not as familiar with the later stuff. Just this artist or that artist or this, that my kids would introduce me to and say, Dad, you got to listen to this or you got to listen to that, that kind of thing. But I didn't actively listen to nothing but new music during those years. Hey, Johnny Hellcat, how you doing? Charcoal or propane? Good question, Grill and Pirate P. My last grill was a propane, which I liked for the convenience. It's broke now. But as for flavor and for just actual cooking, I prefer charcoal. So it depends. I like the charcoal, the end product in charcoal better, but I like the convenience of propane, and it's a lot easier to clean up after too than a charcoal grill. So, yeah, kind of a double answer there. What song always gets stuck in your head? Oh, a lot of songs get stuck in my head, but I've always said that I think the biggest earworm song of all time is Jenny by Tommy and the Two Tones. You know the song, because as soon as I start singing it, it's going to get stuck in your head. Jenny, Jenny, who can I turn to? 8675309. Yeah. I firmly believe that is the biggest earworm get stuck in your head song of all time. I really do. It's just something so catchy about it, and you can't get it out of your head no matter how hard you try. Sheila, I'm not going to answer that question because I'm not sure how to answer. That's a weird question. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's weird even for you, Shio. Let's see, 15 minutes. Let's see if I can keep going for another 15, and then we'll call this a day, and I'll see you again on Saturday. Mr. Robato's like that for me now. I have that stuck in my head. Thanks, BW. I like Mr. Roboto. I like Styx. Wasn't my favorite Styx album, but I do like that song. And yes, I know it's a thematic Styx album. They were trying something new at that time. And overall, Paradise Theater kind of flopped, but that song does stick out as a decent song. There are a lot of Styx songs that I like much better, but it's not a bad song. This is the song that ever ends. That's what we bring up, Brian, if we want to drive my wife nuts. If we want to drive my wife completely nuts, I'll get my oldest daughter to start singing that song, and she'll sing it. You ever wonder if Jenny's actually Jesse's girl and also happens to be Stacy's mom? I like the way you think. Yeah, good tie-in to 3 different songs there. Good tie-in. I don't know. I don't know. Talk about your one-hit wonders, Tommy and the Two Tones, but they sure hit it big with that one, didn't they? Sure hit it big with that one because everybody still knows that song. So even if you only had one hit, if it's a song that people still Smooth Criminals to go to drive your wife nuts. No. Well, yeah, but there's one better than that, Jacob. And you know it. Anything by the Presidents, and especially Lump. And I love the Presidents. So does Jay kids. All my kids love the Presidents. Yeah. You go that's the one that'll do it the quickest and the worst. Yeah. Don't know why. She just doesn't like the Presidents, and she hates that. I love the Presidents of the United States. My whole family does. Lump, Peaches, Volcano, Little Blue Doom Buggy. Yeah. Cynical, there you go. Little Blue Doom Buggy in my hand. And I was singing Peaches just the other day. I was trying to, I actually, before they closed down everything, I was taking my 2 granddaughters to school, and I was singing Peaches, and they were looking at me like I was funny. And Kyler says a band name Alien Ant Farm did a pretty good metal cover of Smooth Criminal. Yes, and J Kid knows that because I actually have that CD. But anyway, I was trying to tell them about Peaches, and they're looking at me funny. And it's a real song. Oh, come on, Papa. So I pulled out the cell phone, played it on my cell phone. They're like they're bumping my head and loving it. Yeah, nothing wrong with Ray Stevens. We sure got our dose of Ray Stevens around his house. I had a best of at one time. Love some Ray Stevens. Funny dude, good songs. Yeah. Um, yeah. Feather plucking crazy. There's a lot of good President's song. I loved it, and I hated that they were only around so long, and and then broke up because they done some good stuff and good funny stuff. All their songs had a comedic edge to it, and I loved it, and they sounded good. It was just Froggy. You know, Froggy jumped all over the stage that day. Did you ever hear Weird Al's cover of Lump called Gump? Yes, I've heard that. Weird Al's another one. He's great. Weird Al he's the OG parody. There was a time where, and people would even say so, but big artists would say, you made it when Weird Al does a cover of your song. Was Lump mean? Are you asking if the person Lump was mean, or what does it mean? Not sure I understand the question, Devil Fruit Zero. If you're asking, what does Lump mean? I don't know. I'm not sure Lump was alive. I mean, the line goes, she might be dead, in the bottom of a swamp, which is really strange, but that's the president's, right? Was it mean to Lump? I don't know. Can you be mean to a dead person? I don't know. And if you can, what do they care? Worst PC OS you've ever used? Windows 95. Bar none. It was so unstable. They fixed it a lot in 98 and went on to fix it a lot after that. But Windows not. I don't know though. Windows 8 runs a close second and might even beat it out. Windows 8 was just awful. Hated 8. Can't stand 8. Would never want to use anything ever again with 8. My laptop came with 8 on it, and I quickly upgraded to 10 as soon as I could. Trust me, I did not like 8. Hated it. Hated it. So she was dead. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the line. It's she might be dead, and it talks about her laying in the bottom of the swamp with the fish flowing by her and stuff. So yeah, pretty sure she was dead. It was more unstable than that, bands. It was very unstable. Windows 8 is fine for touchscreens, but not desktop. Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it was made for. Was touchscreens, but not as an OS for a desktop or laptop. And my laptop was a touchscreen, but it was still a laptop. I didn't use the touchscreen that often. I used the keyboard and the mouse. Hated it. Biggest piece of garbage Windows ever put out. But yeah, 95 was very unstable, and I've used different Windows. I've been using Windows since Windows 3.1. So yeah, I used a lot of them. Wasn't a big fan of Windows 7, or what was the one before that? I forget the name of it, for Pete's sake. Wasn't a big fan, but it wasn't that bad. But my favorite in the name, no, not XP. XP is my favorite. XP is absolutely my favorite. And I would use XP to this day if it was still supported. That's how much I loved XP. XP was a very great and very stable build. And it was just such a shame that they quit supporting it. I really love XP. Vista. The Vista was the one I was trying to think of. Wasn't a real big fan of Vista or 7. Certainly not 8. 10's not too bad. There's some issues with 10 with certain games that they just don't want to work well with 10, but it's not as bad as 8. Nowhere near as close as 8. But XP is my absolute, bar none, favorite. I would be using XP to this day if it was still supported. I would, just no question about it. Yeah, and that's my personal opinion, but I know a little bit about computers, so take that for what it is. It's not like I'm just talking out my butt. I do know a little bit about what I'm talking about, a little bit. Windows ME, meh. Meh. you know. I just don't know what it was about 7, honestly. But 7, didn't like Vista at all. Didn't like, hate it as bad as 8, but didn't like it. It was just such a huge step down from XP, in my opinion. But meh, didn't pop out, and ME didn't pop out and grab me. What are the most popular cigarettes I sell? There's a brand called LDs, and they're very cheap. We sell them with tax. It comes out to $4.13 a pack, which is, you're not going to get much cheaper than that around here, considering that the Marlboros are $7 a pack, and some brands like Now's are almost 10. So yeah, we sell them for $4.13 plus tax. They're called LDs. I've tried them. They're not bad. They got a funny little filter. Just ask J Kid. I bought him a pack once for him to try him, and he just spent the whole time smoking them, laughing at the filters, I think. But they are by far our biggest sellers. We sell tons and tons and tons of those. But probably next to that would probably be Marlboros. We sell a lot of Marlboros. Expensive as they are, we still sell a lot of them. And Marlboros has so many different kinds. You got Marlboro Reds, you got Marlboro Lights, you got Marlboro Ultra Lights, you got Marlboro, the 72s. You got the special blends, both two kinds of special blends. You got the menthols and yada yada yada. It's Marlboro just did there's and with Marlboros, if somebody wants a Marlboro, I always, unless it's just a straight up easy one, I always verify this is the kind you want, because it's got so many different kinds of Marlboros. It's hard, smooths and ice and oh, there's so many different kinds, hard to keep up with. But yeah, does LD stand for a little? No, it stands for the name of the person that owns the company, I think, which I don't remember what that is right now. So are you a Barbie girl then? Not sure about who you talking to and where that comes from, Show. A Barbie girl. So yeah, LD stands for the name of the person that owns the company, I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember what that name is. But yeah, we by far, it's not even close. Not even Marlboros come close to it. We sell just tons and tons and tons. Oh, earworm. No, not at all. Not as far as earworm goes. No. All right. Well, I made it. It's now almost time to end the stream. So this is the part where I say thank you, chat, for coming out. Thank you for hanging out, spending a little time with me. I missed it. It seemed like a long time. It is only a week, but it seemed like a really long time, didn't it? But thanks for coming out and supporting me in whatever ways that you have done, because I do appreciate it. I've always said, and I'll say it again, this is your channel. I just run it. That's all. As far as what's coming next, as I can't stream Thursday, I'll be working. I'll be working till 5 o'clock on Thursday. But I do plan on streaming Saturday because I'm off Saturday. And yes, like J Kid says, if you haven't already, hit that like button on the way out. Yeah, do it. Do it now. And hopefully, unless I don't feel like it at the time or whatever, hopefully there'll be a game stream on Sunday early evening, like about 6 o'clock Eastern time or somewhere around then. But yeah, it's been fun, guys. I'm glad to be back to talk to you. Been so much going on. See you, Devil for Zero. I'm a boomer. I'll admit it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm a boomer. Proud of it. But anyway, thanks for coming out. But that's it for me. So this is where I always say, get out of my yard.